Hey, let me turn my music off. Hey, everybody. Hopefully, you could hear the music and you were just sitting there in silence. I hope it worked. Give me a thumbs up if it did. And Jenna, you're sitting in silence. Oh my gosh. Well, I was jamming out to the music that was supposed to be playing for you. Could you see Tiffany's pretty face though, at least? Oh, you can see that. Okay, I got half of it right. I am so excited. You guys, this has become, I say every night's my favorite night because I just love getting on Zoom with you guys. But this has definitely become one of my favorite nights because I love hearing from each different leader. And each one, like, we all do the same thing, is what I noticed, but we each do it a little bit different that I think is just amazing for our teams to hear. So get them on these calls. And I am so excited. I am going to spotlight our leader of the night. Let me spotlight for everybody right here. What's up? What's up, Tiffany? What did you think when you saw your pretty face up
I'm excited. I just saw my face really big now, but
there? Well, I'm really excited. You guys, everybody knows Tiffany. She does our graphics. She helps so much with the team. She keeps me organized because I don't even know what time it is ever. So we are so lucky to have Tiffany, and I'm really excited for tonight's interview. So we're just gonna jump in it. First, I want everybody knows who you are, but I want you to tell your story. So, really, what brought you to network marketing, to pharmacy, and what your life was before you started doing this?
hello everyone. So my name is Tiffany Tregoning for anybody that doesn't know me. A little background on how I got in. So I was working a full-time job. I felt super lost at that job, and I'm going to be honest with you, at the time I wasn't really like looking for anything to replace it. I was looking for something to just kind of fill up my time in the afternoons after work. I was living with my twin brother in a basement apartment. So I wanted something just to kind of like be fun for me. So I was invited to a online party. And I tried some products from that company and I fell in love. And I honestly don't even know what like came inside me because I'm not like the ideal person to do sales or anything like that. But I ended up reaching out to somebody and just started asking some questions. And I told myself originally I wanted to make $100 a month. That's all I wanted to do. So I just jumped in. And then I was at that last company for about 8.5 years. Actually, last week on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, was actually my 10-year anniversary of being in this industry. So then after 8.5 years, just like a lot of us, we saw Amber decide to start a new venture, and I just knew it was time. I felt like I kind of had a gut feeling for a little bit that it was time to start over. And then here we are at pharmacy.
Well, we are lucky that you trusted me because I
I
don't know
definitely
what we
thought
would do
so.
without Tiffany, you guys. All right. So the moment that you decided to go all in with this, when it was more than just, hopefully I'll make some money, to when you're like, hey, I'm gonna make a business of this. Tell us a little bit about that.
When the money started coming in. No, I mean, so to be honest with you, like I said, I was only looking to make an extra $100. Funny thing, because we're talking about leadership. If you hear my son trying to get in my office, my husband's with him, so he's fine. Um, but it was actually kind of funny because I told my sponsor in my previous company, I said, I don't want to sponsor anybody. I don't want to lead anybody. I don't want any of that. If someone comes to me and they decide they want to do this business, I'm just going to send them to you. Like I'm here for the bare minimum. I did not look at this as being this life changer kind of industry. I actually thought it was funny that people used to say it changed my life and, like the friendships, like I really didn't believe in any of that. But to be honest with you, at the time, like I said, I was working a full-time job. My bills were paid. I was comfortable. And over time, I got to the point that I I loved what I did. I was easy. It was easy to me. Like I knew everything about the company that I worked for. But I started to stress so much. So I worked for a corporate job. It was 12 employees at a location. I was the only female. and a bunch of men that whined and cried about things all the time. So I felt like because I had been there for so long, a lot got put on me. So I got to the point that I was actually in the hospital with chest pains. And they told me that those chest pains were due to just stress. And I would get these pains right when I got in my car in the morning and I was driving to work. The minute I would get in my car when I leave my job, I would start driving home and it was like all that stress just went away. And I think that that was the deciding factor of like, there is something else out there for me that I need to really go, 110% into this because this could be that replacement for that corporate job. I was raised with the thought of, you go to school and you get a corporate job and you climb the ladder. And, this was way different for me. But I think that that was kind of like my big deciding factor of like, I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. I don't want the stress. I want to do it on my own terms. And then it was just the exciting thing of being able to help other people experience the same thing that I have.
So you have been in a leadership role for a while. In our last company, you're at the top 2%. You have earned the turkey trip here and lead a really big organization. So you've been doing this for a while. So tell us, because most of us on this call, we are trying to get to where you have already been. So what is a leadership lesson or advice that you've learned throughout the years?
This is going to be a big one. And I honestly wish that someone would have said this to me a long time ago in the very beginning. But not every person is going to be your person. Um, and why I bring this up is, you'll hear a lot of times with leadership in this industry saying like, you're going to sponsor your people. You're going to bring in people that relate to you in some kind of way or, like connect with you and your people are your people. But in all honesty, that's not always the truth. And I think that it's very important that we learn business relationships. I've had people that I've worked with that I've grown more of a relationship with and things like that. And we can talk about life, but majority of the time I've kind of learned that a lot of this has to be a business relationship. We're here to love on people and we're here to have a heart and we lead with our heart all the time. I still love every single person I get to work with, but there has to be kind of like that fine line. And within that, you're going to find people that sometimes will, mess with your positivity or maybe mess with your mindset a little bit and try to drag you down and treat you poorly. And I learned this a few years ago after going through a very, very tough situation with a team member, that you know what? Your team page, your chats, your all of your resources that you have are extra kind of things. And I think that I needed to hear that it's like, we're not in this industry or this business that we have to do trainings, that we have to do team pages, that we have to do all these things. These are extras that you get. And, we're on an amazing team that has so many resources. Not all teams have these things because it's not like in our contract that we have to do it. So when you have someone that is going to disrupt the community that you have or disrupt your team, bring in drama, bring in negativity, there is nothing wrong with removing those people out of your resources, block people if you need to, and I think that that's okay. Now, let me preface this by saying there's certain times that yes, you're going to have certain conversations with people. I give people chances and things like that. But when it gets to a point that it's really going to disrupt things, then remove them from things. And that's okay. And it's okay to know that like some people that you interact with are just not going to be those really, really good people in your life. So I think that's important. Once you start to grow a larger team, you might run into those things. But I kind of have rules with my team and I give people chances and things like that. But I also know that at some point, sometimes we have to cut that relationship off.
Yeah, I've been in situations like that too. And it took me many, 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 many years to come to that point because I always am like, I don't want to be mean. They're on my team. But you know what? Give enough chances. Like, you don't want to make this business miserable for yourself. And that's really what happens. Like, I don't even want to go into my team group today because I know she's going to be coming at me.
Yeah, and it's like you don't want to make it miserable for yourself, but you also don't want to make it miserable for the
For
other
the
people in
people
your team.
around, that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing too. It's like when you put strawberries, a rotten strawberry and a regular strawberry together, it just like takes over the entire
Yeah.
batch of strawberries.
Yep, exactly.
So this business, my mindset has gone through so many different phases. I started out as the person with my hands crossed in the back of the convention center saying, this, you know what, is not going to work for me. Okay, these people, they know people. I know nobody. I came from nothing. Like, this is not going to happen. I was so negative, and now I am like, doesn't matter where you come from, you got this, because it's happened in my own life. So my shift has changed a lot. What has been one of the biggest mindset shifts that you've gone through?
I think probably the biggest one is that I do not have to be like anybody else, and that it's okay to be authentic to who I am and true to who I am. There's plenty of people in this industry, not just, our team in this company, but even in other companies that, motivate me and inspire me and things like that. But I think that it's important to keep it in the back of your mind. Like, you don't have to be like anybody else. Like, you can be you, you can grow a massive business, you can find success just being exactly who you are. I and some people know my story a little bit, and I won't go all into that, but I grew up and went through some traumatic things in my life that absolutely crushed my confidence. I had zero self-worth. I've never been a skinny girl, let's be real. So I've always struggled with weight. I've always struggled with my image. I've always struggled with thinking, what other people think of me. And, I'm going to be honest with you, when I first got into this industry, I would see these women at the top, and they were beautiful and they were confident and they were skinnier than me and all these things, and I kept saying, like, if I was like that, maybe I would grow faster, or I would see more success, and I would have more people in my lives and more people buying from me. But quickly I realized, I said, people are going to fall in love with exactly who you are. And it took me a while to actually learn, how to become more confident about myself, and all these things. And now you guys will see, I'm just like, this is me. I'm okay with it. People are going to love me. If they don't, that's fine. They'll find somebody else. But I'm going to find my people based off of that. So don't ever try to compare yourself to anybody else in this business. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your background or anything like that. Just be super, super authentic to who you are.
I know that you just spoke to almost every single person, if not every single person on this call. I'm going to tell you, I'm not calling nobody out, but I see several people who've told me, I just need a facelift, Amber, and then I can go live more and people are going to buy from me. I just need to lose 20 pounds. People are going to buy from me. Oh, and I just want to say, no, no, now. They will buy from you now. They love you now. So I think I'm so
100%.
happy you mentioned that. Tell me in
Mm-hmm.
the chat if that's something that you guys struggle with. We have a lot of messages in the chat. 56
It's
on.
hard, and I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I might come off as a super confident person, there's still times that I'm not, and there's still times that I'll look at my body and say, I should probably get back on them shakes and the L-carnitine, and I need to do something. And that's okay to feel that way, but it's don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like, my thing about, like, my weight in general or things like that, like, I want to feel better. I want to get healthier. It's not the mindset of, oh, if I get skinnier, or I start doing this, then people are going to support me more. It has nothing to do with that.
You are people in the chat. They're feeling it. Thank you so much for adding that in.
Of course.
Perfect. God knew exactly what people need to hear. Okay, so as a leader, your team looks at you for energy, but let's be real, not every day is sunshine and rainbows. Like, there are hard days. How do you stay motivated and show up on days like that, especially when your team's relying on that?
So first off is, you've got to have a why. And your why can change. Okay, so my why when I first joined, I was 27, living in my brother's basement in his townhouse. Like, I didn't have kids, nothing. My why looked completely different back then, but you've got to have that reason on why you're getting up every single morning, and that's your driving force to push through on the bad days and just keep showing up and doing things. Now, I am a firm believer, and this might go against some things that you hear, but like, so we've been talking about this, like, 100 days of lives and 100 days of lives. Okay, let me be really real with you. If I wake up and it is one of the bad days, okay, there is no fighting through. People are going to see it on my face. They're going to know that something's wrong. I won't go live. Okay. And that's not because I don't want to or I don't want to show up for my business, but I know if I get on live, people are going to see right through me, like, and I'm not saying that this happens often, but sometimes it does. So on those days, I will go focus on other things. I'll go focus on follow-ups. I'll go do behind the scenes. I'll work on some emails. I will catch up with team members, send some messages, do those types of things that maybe you're not going to see my face regularly. So that's kind of like my way of like working through those really, really bad days. Most of the days I can, go put up some music that's going to pump me up a little bit, do some personal development and kind of fight through. But like I said, that driving force of your why, that is what's going to hold you accountable. And that's what's going to make you show up every single day because I have to work today and I have to do these things because this is what I'm pushing for in the long run.
Mhm. People are feeling that too in the chat. Oh, hang on, let me grab some people in the waiting
I'm not
room.
even looking in the chat. I get distracted.
I know, so do I. So do I. But now I can read them and I don't have to talk. Okay, so we're gonna do real talk here. Everybody loved Ashley's training this weekend in Atlanta, and it was real talk, tough love. And that's what I want you to give right now. So, what do you wish people would do in their first 30 days? And what's kind of like your system for mentoring people when they first start? But what do you wish that they do that they probably aren't doing?
Ooh. Okay, so I this is gonna sound super, super basic, but just go all in. Like literally go all in. This is one of the things that I think really, really grew my business in the very beginning is that like I didn't give my time or I didn't give myself time to like second guess what I was doing. I just like I was so excited about what this could be. And like I said, I was only working for like $100 a month. Like that's all I really wanted. But I love the idea of like, hey, I can put myself out there and this is going to be fun for me. And I literally jumped in and from 10 years down the road, it's never changed. I'm like, I got to show up every day. I got to do these things. I was working a full-time job, but I just jumped right in and I was super, super excited. You cannot second guess yourself. You cannot strive for perfection. Go in all messy. Go in, just doing whatever you can because over the times you're gonna learn more and more. It's gonna get better. And that's what I try to tell my team all the time. I'm like, just go live. What's the worst that can happen? It's horrible. The next one's gonna be better. Like you might be nervous. That's okay. It's gonna get easier and easier. There's too many people that will make excuses. I don't know how to do reels. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to work Canva. You gotta start somewhere. So start messy and just figure it out as you go. It's gonna get easier. It's like riding a bike, like and I that was like the first thing that popped in my head. But like you get on the bike for the first time, you know how to ride a bike, right? You might fall off, you might skim your knee, you might bump your head, but you're gonna just get back on and you're gonna get better and better. And then over time, you're just riding the bike. Oh, I forgot my phone was like recording myself. Um, but you're gonna get on that bike one day and you're just gonna be flying down the road and you didn't even remember all of those times that you fell off and all those things. So jump in full-heartedly. We have so many resources. Like it is insane what this team has to offer and the resources and the trainings and all those things. One of the best things that I can tell you is if you're in your first 30 days, if you have team members in their first 30 days, maybe you're revamping your business right now, you took some time off, go dig into the school app. That's going to be the biggest thing for you. And then show up on every single call you can. That is going to help get you motivated. It's going to help remind you of things. I'm going to tell you guys, I get on every single call possible. Now, there's sometimes, okay, I'm a mom, things happen, but I do my best to be on every single call possible. If Amber was hosting a call tomorrow for new FIs and she's just going through back office training, my butt is going to be on that call, because it's not because like I'm like, oh, like I'm going to come learn something. I might know everything, but I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to surround myself by everybody on the team. And it just keeps me motivated.
Okay. Had to let someone in the waiting room. Um, Perfect. And I gotta say, okay, this is off topic. In the chat, I seen a few messages that thought it was funny that you forgot you were recording yourself. You guys,
Oh,
follow in her footsteps. Like, you see, she's creating content as she's
my
doing
phone was propped up on my dry shampoo.
because you're smart, you guys. She's creating content as she's on these lives and on these
Come to
Zooms.
Miami.
So do that, you guys. Like screenshot these, post them in your stories, like show that community, show what we have on this team. I promise you, it is going to help you. Okay, I know that was off topic. Let me get back to my questions. Okay, next one is you've been in this a long time, just like me, and you've seen momentum go up and down, up and down. I remember Eric Worre taught me that momentum looks like this in a company, and that is normal. You don't want to be momentum all the time because every single thing would be out of stock. It would be crazy. But what do you do to keep your team motivated when maybe you're not in momentum?
Show up myself. I know that sounds so basic, but you have to lead by example. And that's one thing that I've realized. I'm going to tell you a funny story. Not funny story, but just a little story. So back in the day in my old company, I was running for the equivalent of director. I was about 8 months into my business. We hit, busy season in the fall, and I said, "This is my month. We're doing it. We're going to do this." And then I realized I was going to be on a cruise from the first of the month until the seventh. So I set up everything, right? I told my team, I'm like, these girls are going to show up and post things that's needed and blah, 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 and all these things. I did not buy the Wi-Fi on the boat because it was a family thing. And I was like, nope, I'm going to spend time with my family. I deserve that. I came home on day 8th of the month to absolutely zero company sales. Zero. And like we had specials the first of the month, all this stuff. My team literally, and it's not that they weren't working, like we were ready to run for that status. So I showed up to zero sales. And that was the one time I'm like, this really, really hit home for me and made sense. Like I've got to show up because yes, everybody on my team is working for their own goals, right? And they are in this business for their own reasonings. But when they see me slacking and I'm on vacation living my life, that kind of like gives them the chance to be like, oh, I can sit back a little bit, right? I can take some time off. If Tiffany's taking time off, I can take time off and it's going to be okay. So that really, really hit home for me back in the day. So the biggest thing is like, through the slow seasons, through whatever happens, you've got to show up 110%. Your team is going to follow in your footsteps. And if you feel like, you're not showing up and they're not doing it, then that's what you kind of have to like kick yourself in the butt a little bit to do. It's not all about, go to your team. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you showing up? You've got to do that yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's, in my stories, I know the same with you. We're in our stories for our customers, obviously, first, but also for our team, because when they see us in those stories, what do you think they're doing? They're going and taking their vitamins. Even like my downline. Keep doing it, guys. Keep going on stories because you motivate me. My sister took her gummies and she shows her gummies every single day in her stories. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't even taking my gummies as much as I should. So now I do every day because I see her do it. So when you're trying to grow that team, you guys, and that's what everyone's goal is. Usually these are our leadership calls. This is open to everybody, but that is what our goals are. It's not just for our customers. It's for our team too. Okay. Next question is, what's a common mistake that you see new leaders make and how do you help them get through it?
Um, Most common mistake would be wanting it for their team more than their team actually wants it. And this is something that I had to learn as well. And I, never really heard from anybody kind of talk about this, but I guess I had this this wrong thought about this industry of like, if somebody signs up under me and they buy a kit, they're like ready to go, right? They need this business. They're going to work. They're going to have the same work ethic as me. And it was quickly realized that that's not the case all the time. So it's hard because of course, like, especially if you're all in on this business, you want the same for other people, especially when people come to you and say, "Oh, this is why I need it." And, like I'm a single mom or anything that's going on, they really need this in their life, but then they stop showing it up and you take that to heart. I don't know how many times in the beginning of my business, I would see my team kind of fall back or see people come in and they didn't do anything. And I literally almost quit over it. Like, I know that sounds so crazy, but I was like, it has to be me, right? It's not the company, it's not the products. We all love those things. But I kept saying, maybe leadership isn't for me. Like, I can't help these people. But what I realized is, I give them the resources, I give them the trainings, I do all that I can for the team. It's up to them to really, really show up. So you just have to keep it in the back of your mind. Sometimes you're going to want it for people more than they want it for themselves. And you're going to have to see who's going to show up, who's going to put in the work. It has nothing to do with who's top on the leaderboards all the time or who's top in sponsoring. You're going to find the people that are showing up and really, really want to put their heart into this business. And those are the ones that you're going to work with the most.
Mhm. I call it director hunting, and I go through my downline tree, and it might not be the person at the top. It might be level down, level down, level down, and I find who is producing that, who is the one who's coming to the calls, who is the one, and it's not even based on their numbers. And I know same for you. It's based on their actions and how bad they want
100%.
it. So 1000%. Okay, so what is your vision? I want to know what your vision is for the next level. What are you working on right now? What's getting you excited? Brag on yourself a little bit. What's next for you?
Oh, I'm not good at bragging on myself.
That's why I threw it in.
Vision. Let's be real, guys. Okay, so um I just want to help as many people as possible. That's literally my goal. And that's what, my leadership like I said in the very beginning, I didn't want to be a leader. Like, like it's not something that I really looked at myself at being. And it was just this amazing thing is like, I get to help people come into this business and experience what I have. And that is just like my full focus right now. Like, yes, I've got some goals in the back of my mind. Yes, I've got some rank goals, things like that. But ultimately, it's just gonna all play out with helping my team get to their goals. So I will throw it out there. Me and my team have been talking about it. We really want platinum. Platinum is our next rank. I'm gonna tell you guys, truthfully. So I spent 8.5 years in my previous company. Platinum is the equivalent to the rank that I never hit. That we worked for plenty of times and we got super close sometimes, but that's why it means a little bit more than you even think. But again, it's like, I'm the type of leader that I don't put my rank first. So I work with the girls on my team and, when they're ready to run to director, everything's going to fall into place. And that's what we're just excited about. We're just excited about the growth and the opportunity that's here with pharmacy. I've been here about, I think exactly like a year and a half now. So things are still new and still exciting. And I'm just excited about bringing more people in and just seeing that growth happen.
I'm so excited for you. It's happening. It's
It's
happening.
happening.
Like Renee
It's
said,
happening.
we're mapping it out in Miami.
We need to. My
All
girls
right.
are ready.
Yes, they are, and so are you. Like you already are platinum. It just needs to catch up. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. So if someone is watching this and they're feeling stuck or scared to go all in, what would you say to them?
Dive into training. Like I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again, but literally that's like the motivator. Now there's a couple of things. So we'll start with training. So training number one, even if you've gone through like the entire school app and you've gone through all that training, do it again. Okay. Every single time you're going to listen to a training or anything like that, there's always going to be things that you didn't catch the first time or is going to just kind of be like that next reminder for you, So I would absolutely deep dive any training possible, show up on the calls, do all the school app training again. Um, Personal development is a huge one, and you're going to hear that from all top leaders. I Let me be truthful. When my old sponsor in my last company, she was personal development. Like she preached it all the time. And I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. I said, how am I going to listen to this thing on YouTube and it's just going to motivate me? I stick to it. Okay. I hear this so many times that people like, I don't know how this is going to change it. It will change the game. Promise you that. But you have to stick to it and you have to keep listening to it. Okay. You'll find the people that really speak to you. Now, I'm kind of talking about listening to things, but obviously you can do personal development reading too. I'm a listener. I've got a crazy life all the time, so I like to listen while I'm doing other things. But deep dive into personal development, keep your mindset straight, dive into all the training. And then the last thing is I would tell you to start with small tasks, okay? I am a firm believer of like sometimes it's overwhelming to look at like a full task sheet, okay? So sometimes let's use like the 90-day run for an example. If you look at that task sheet, a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, I can't do it. I don't have enough time. I work, I have kids, I have all these things, and that's okay. It's not meant for every single person. So what I would say is create something that's going to work for your schedule and start small. Like literally if it's even just 5 tasks a day. You're gonna post a photo, you're gonna post in your story 3 times, like very, very basic small tasks. Start doing that and start staying consistent with doing that on a regular basis. And then over time, you're going to realize, like, oh, I do have a little bit more time. I can add a little bit more. I can add a little bit more. And then by the end of it, you're doing the full 90 run task sheet and you're just crushing it. So I would definitely start with like small tasks, just keep growing that, and just stay consistent with it, whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. All right, this is my favorite part, Tiff. Favorite
Oh,
part is
the speed round.
my speed round.
I
All right.
talk a lot. I got to be good at this. Just be quick.
First thing that comes to your mind. All right, number one, coffee or energy drink.
Coffee. I like me a good energy drink, but look, it's 9:30 at night. I'm still drinking coffee.
You're so funny. Lip gloss or matte lipstick.
Matte lipstick all the way.
Go-to hype song.
Um 90s, early 2000s hip hop is like my jam, but like my number one song right now is Jump by Lupe Fiasco, which is like 10 years old, but I don't know why every time it comes on I'm just like it's my jam.
Is that going to be your walkout song?
It might have to be at this point. Actually, I should probably really look into the lyrics and like make sure it's not like naughty or anything, but
Oh, it can be naughty. It's all good. Morning routine must have.
coffee. No, I'm just kidding. Elixir. Elixir.
Okay, we're skipping the next question. ChatGPT helped me with these, and that one was weird.
What was the next one?
What's your toxic trait as a leader? Like, why would it add that? You don't have one. Oh, she's thinking. She's thinking.
You know what? I have an answer for that.
Let me hear.
Um, I tend to be controlling. Okay, let me explain before I say that. I um I have a really, really strong work ethic, right? So I micromanage very badly. I have a tendency that I'm like, if I need to do this, I will go do it. I will create all the photos. I will create this. Like Amber probably loves me for that because I'm like, let me give me stuff to do.
Do.
But also I've kind of learned recently that I need to delegate. So I think that that's probably like my one trait that I'm like trying to get better at. So like I have girls on my team. Gosh, I love them. But they show up and they do power hours for me now and like take over team calls and I'm trying to, alleviate a little bit off of my plate. That wasn't really a quick answer. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's good. Okay, you're also an influencer. I want to know what's your dream collab or brand partnership besides pharmacy, of course.
Um, oh, Top Fox. Come on, Top Fox. I love everything about them. I love the owner. I love everything that they're about. That would be amazing. I'm a sunglass junkie, so that would be phenomenal one day.
Come on, Helen. You got to start following Helen
Come
on,
on,
on
Helen.
TikTok. Best compliment you've ever received. I know this
The
was hard for you, but I can think of a million.
Listen, I can't, which is kind of crazy. There's one that pops in my head, and people are gonna be like, "This is not a compliment whatsoever." But explain. Um, someone called me a pit bull one day, and I'm totally okay with it. It literally was based on my loyalty to people. And I tend to be very, very loyal. If people treat me well, I will go to the ends of the earth for people that I love and I care about that treat me well. So I have a tendency to be a pit bull at times. And for my friends that don't really speak up for themselves, they got me. I wouldn't say I'm confrontational, but like I have no problems like, dealing with things sometimes.
You can hold your own.
Yeah. It's funny. It was a family member that called me a pit bull, but I said, yep.
Yep. All right, favorite pharmacy product right now.
Um, Elixir. No, the hair care in general.
Look at her hair, you
Elixir
guys.
number, huh?
Show them your hair. Look at this hair.
Guys, literally at one point, not too long ago, my hair broke off to the point that it was like here. And when I started pharmacy, I have a feeling it was kind of like here.
Mhm.
And it was so damaged. But the elixir oil has been my game changer, but just in general, the hair care in general, I'm like absolutely obsessed with it. This is all real.
I know. I'm working towards it.
Stick to it. It's life changing.
One thing you wish people knew about you.
Um, I'm very okay. So when people see me on social media, they think like Tiffany is an extrovert and all this. I'm very like introverted, extroverted. Like I have both sides. Um, And so I feel like most people, I hope that they know that about me, only because like when we get in public settings or trainings or stuff, I have a tendency to get a little quiet at times. And that's either that I'm just like people overload, or I just like feel slightly uncomfortable around people that I don't know like very well. Like for my friends that I'm around or I know you really well, I'm like, life of the party, but I have both sides of that. So like, and I have RBF really bad. So sometimes
Don't
I
let
look a
it
little
fool you though.
unapproachable.
Very
What?
the nice person. I said, don't let the RBF fool you because nicest person in the world.
I
Okay.
swear, I'm not
Nicest
mean,
person.
I'm not aggressive, I'm not unapproachable. Sometimes people think that about me. I have a switch sometimes that I just like kind of have to just chill. So
Is it the
that's
pit
probably
bull? Is it the pit bull in you?
it. No, the pit bull is if anybody messes with people I love.
I'm glad you love me.
1000%.
Okay, finish this sentence. I feel most powerful when.
When I am around like-minded, amazing people. I was gonna
Same.
say women, but there's men on the team that I love too. So, yeah, anytime that I'm in, a kind of setting around the team, or even just other leaders, in general, just that is when I feel the most empowered is being around really, really good people that have the same, goals as you and the same dreams. And, I always want my circle to be people that are doing even better than me. And that's when I feel the best about myself.
Yes. Well, thank you. And I gotta say, I really like your shirt.
Isn't it cute? I just got it.
It's cute. Millionaire Mastery plug,
If you
you
guys haven't
guys.
ordered this, is super cute. If you're
I
in between
haven't seen.
sizes, I would size up though. I probably should have sized up one, but like it's cute.
It is cute. Little plug there for our team.
Get your
Well,
windbreakers.
yes. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to I almost said tomorrow. Tomorrow is our accountability call. Next Tuesday, we're gonna have Tracy Rogers. I'm very excited. So I will talk to you guys soon. We love you, Tiffany. Everyone
Love
smile.
you too.
You want to do a
I
picture?
know. I was thinking pictures.
Tag Tiffany, tag me.
Content. Love you
Bye, you
guys.
guys. Good night. I'm going live. Live at night challenge. Bye, guys.